Ever wondered where our world is a diverse tapestry of life? From microscopic bacteria to towering sequoias, from deep-sea creatures to soaring birds, the complexity of life is amazing. But one enduring question remains: where did it all start? What sparked life on our planet? Let's travel back to the beginning. Our journey begins 4.5 billion years ago with the formation of Earth, a time so distant it's almost impossible to comprehend. Picture a molten mass spinning in the dark void of space, a newborn planet in the throes of creation. In this early stage, Earth was a hostile place, far from the tranquil blue orb we know today. It was a world of fire and molten rock, under constant bombardment from meteors. The atmosphere was thick with greenhouse gases, and the surface was a furnace, too hot for any life as we understand it. Despite this hostile beginning, the planet held within it the raw materials needed for life. The elements we consider life's building blocks, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur, were all present, albeit in a form far different from what we know today. Over time, the Earth began to cool. Heavy elements sank to the core, while lighter ones rose to form the crust. Water, delivered by icy comets, began to condense in the cooler temperatures, forming the first oceans. These oceans, combined with the Earth's magnetic field, created a protective barrier against the sun's radiation, providing a safe haven for complex molecules to form. This was a world in transition, on the brink of something extraordinary. Against all odds, the stage was set for the greatest show on Earth. Fast forward to around 3.5 billion years ago, the first signs of life appeared. Can you imagine that? A time when Earth was not as we know it today, but a planet taking its first breath of life. The question of how life emerged has intrigued scientists for centuries, and while we don't have all the answers, we do have theories. One of the earliest and most enduring is the primordial soup theory. This theory suggests that life began in a warm pond or ocean as a result of a combination of chemicals from the atmosphere and some form of energy, such as lightning strikes or volcanic eruptions. This mixture, given the right conditions, could have formed simple molecules, which then evolved into more complex ones, eventually leading to the creation of life. Another theory, known as the panspermia theory, proposes that life did not originate on Earth at all. Instead, it may have arrived on comets or meteorites, having formed elsewhere in the universe. These life forms, possibly simple organisms able to withstand the harsh conditions of space, could have then evolved on Earth into the diverse forms of life we see today. Regardless of how life started, we know that the first life forms were simple, single-celled organisms, much like bacteria. These organisms were incredibly basic, lacking many of the features we associate with life today. Yet, they were alive, they could reproduce, they could evolve, and most importantly, they could survive in the harsh conditions of the early Earth. These simple organisms were the pioneers of life, the first steps on a journey that would lead to the incredible diversity of life we see today. From these single-celled organisms, life evolved, becoming more complex and diverse with each passing era. In the grand scheme of the universe, life on Earth is but a blink of an eye. Yet, in that blink, life has transformed the Earth, shaping it into the vibrant, life-filled planet we know today. From these humble beginnings, life as we know it began to evolve. Over billions of years, life on Earth evolved and diversified. This is the story of how evolution and natural selection played the role of the ultimate architects, shaping and molding life in all its varied forms. Let's begin with a simple query. What exactly is evolution? In a nutshell, it's a process of gradual change over time. Picture a painter adding layers of paint to a canvas over years, each stroke subtly changing the image until it becomes a masterpiece. Now imagine that the painter is nature, the canvas is Earth, and the paint strokes are genetic mutations. These mutations, most often random, lead to variations in species. Some of these variations confer an advantage, making the organism more likely to survive and reproduce. This is where natural selection comes into play. It's a bit like a sieve, sifting through the variations and selecting those most suited to the current environment. Now, let's dive into some key milestones in life's grand tapestry. About 1.5 billion years ago, a monumental shift occurred: the emergence of multicellular organisms. This was like switching from solo artists to an orchestra, with different cells performing different roles, yet working in harmony. Fast forward several 100 million years, and another turning point was reached: the arrival of the first plants. These pioneers turned sunlight into food, forever changing Earth's atmosphere and paving the way for new forms of life. Entered the first animals, who brought movement and predation into the equation. And finally, around 2 million years ago, a new player entered the scene: the first humans. With their capacity for complex thought and communication, humans changed the game entirely, shaping the world as we know it today. However, it's important to remember that evolution is not a ladder with humans at the top. Rather, it's a sprawling tree with branches reaching out in all directions, each branch representing a different species, each leaf a different individual. It's a long and winding road from single cells to us. But it's this journey, this dance of life and time, that has given us the incredible biodiversity we see today. So there you have it, a journey from the formation of Earth to the emergence of life. We started with the Earth's birth, a chaotic and fiery spectacle as gases and matter swirled together in the cosmic dance of creation. Then we moved on to the emergence of life, a process that began in the primordial soup of the early oceans and eventually led to the first single-celled organisms. From these humble beginnings, life evolved and diversified, adapting to every corner of our planet and giving rise to the rich tapestry of species we see today. But let's pause to reflect. Isn't it awe-inspiring to think about the vast complexity of life? How from the chaotic beginnings of a young planet to the delicate balance of ecosystems we see today, every piece fits together in a grand, intricate tapestry. It's a reminder of our place in the universe and the shared history that binds us all. From the vast cosmos to the microscopic cell, life is a grand, intricate tapestry, and we are all a part of it.